I'm an overcomer of child sexual trauma. I sat down to record a podcast, to record some music for a podcast, and I kind of ended up talking a bit about it. I tried to call my daughter and I didn't get her. She ends up calling me back during the episode. Here's what happens anyway. This is introductory number 2, podcast number 3. Welcome to loving kindness every day.
You have what you say, right? So if you say that you're so affected by something and that something affects you so badly, then it does. And if you say that you have freedom and love, then you do. Sort of like making your own path in a grass field. When you do it once or twice, it doesn't mean anything. You do it every day for a week, it doesn't mean anything. You do it every day for a month, it starts to show a little bit. You do it every day for a year, and other people are walking on that same path, and they know it's a path. It does take work. Mental plasticity is what we do have. Neuroplasticity, as the scientists would call it. The ability to change our thinking. And so yeah, I did that. I do it. I've done it. I'm doing it now. I'm doing it all the time, every day. It's what I call loving kindness. Loving myself every day. And it's what I'm talking to you guys about. Loving yourselves every day. And not just, it's not just about being kind to other people. Because you can do that. Everybody can do that, right? But it really takes a good amount of mental fortitude and strength to be kind to yourself. Be kind to your mind. To not worry about what you should eat or what you should drink or wherewithal shall you live. Wherewithal shall you wear. For your Father in heaven, the source energy, the infinite intelligence, the Savior of the world, Creator of the world, has already provided all of these things. Everything has already been worked out. I think the problem is a lot of us right now are sometimes like Joseph in jail. His father had 2 wives. One had a hard time having children, and the other one no problem, lots of kids. And so he's got a lot of half-brothers. And it's just him and his younger brother, and the mother passes away giving birth to the younger brother. So they're very much the favorite children, and Joseph, the oldest of the 2, clearly more favored. Here's my baby. Let's see. Hey, Chichi. Uh-oh. Yeah, that's how you feel. Ooh. Joseph in the jail. Anyway. We count it all joy when we suffer various and unique and different and multifaceted challenges, trials of all types. As Joseph, the favorite son. Anyway, listen, long story short is the following. Joseph gets this coat. His father loves him so much, he gives him this coat. And his brothers envy him. They envy the coat. They hate him so much for it. They hate the fact that Joseph's having all these dreams and basically The metaphysical, metaphorical meaning of his dreams is that he's going to be in charge of all of them one day, and they're going to come to him and bow down. They get the theme of that in these dreams that he has, and this ticks them off to no end, you see. So they decide they're going to kill him. They hate him so much. Just get rid of him. One of his brothers decides, no, killing him, you guys maybe will just let him live and we'll send him into slavery instead. What do you think? And we can pretend he's dead. The brothers acquiesce. They decide, alright, yes, we'll do it. They sell him into slavery, make a few bob, take his coat, cover it in goat's blood, or ram's blood, or sheep's blood. I can't recall off the top of my head what sort of animal it was. Some sort of an animal blood, and they show it to the father, and they say, Father, your beloved, beautiful Joseph is dead. Here's his bloody coat. Here's this thing that you thought was so great that you wanted to give to him. You didn't want to give it to the rest of us. Listen. So then Joseph ends up in slavery, but he's cool. He's a cool dude. So the person who buys him, slavery back then was different. They allowed them a lot of privileges. So he basically became almost like the second person in charge in the house. He was very high up and good looking. And the wife, she liked him. She liked her some Joseph. And she wanted to, as the Bible might say, bed him. Joseph wasn't having it. Here he goes again. Somebody's taking this guy's clothes. She grabs his cloak and screams rape. Now, Joseph's in jail. So this is where we started our Joseph's in jail analogy. And so what ends up happening is Joseph dreams dreams. He has another dream. He interprets dreams as well. And he ends up in jail with a couple of people who are of the king's court, the pharaoh. And they have dreams, and he interprets the dreams successfully and begs one of the people, hey, listen, when you get out of here, you do me back a favor, how I helped you understand in your dreams, you can help me out. And the guy's like, yeah, whatever, for sure. So, of course, he's free now, so he doesn't care about Joseph anymore in jail. He's doing his thing until one day the king's having dreams, the pharaoh. He's dreaming, it's driving him nuts. And then he remembers, ding, 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 da-dum-dum-dum, I remember the dream guy, Joseph, in jail. Let me tell you all about him. He does. Joseph successfully tells the king about his dreams, and the dream ends up being one of necessity, one that ends up saving the entire region, and thus creating the situation where the dream fulfillment does come to pass that he had when he was a child, where his brothers are bowing down to him. Now, there's a lot more going on in that story that we'll unpack another day, that I could talk to you about that, for a long time, but I don't want this to be too long. The point is, at one point, he was in jail, alright? So at one point in the timeline, you're Joseph in jail. And there's maybe situations and circumstances that seem very difficult. Geez, I got sold into slavery and now I'm in jail. Like, I cannot win for losing out here. But had he not been in that situation, he wouldn't have been able to be the savior that he was, not only to his family, but ultimately to his people. The point is, it changed the course of history. It changed the course of history not only for himself, but for his whole family and for even the people who wanted to kill him, who ultimately, he just really embraces with a bit of, a bit of what you might call full-on forgiveness. He did a little bit something first, He had to let them feel his sting a little bit, and then, ultimate forgiveness. Which is, I suppose what I would hope for my brother and I. I really do forgive him, coming full circle with the whole thing. I think it's just that, I was concerned, I guess I was just concerned about him being in the church school with the children, and it just didn't sit right with me. It didn't sit right with me a few things, and I suppose that's what it was. But also at the same time, that's a judgment. You know, maybe everything is 100% above board and copacetic. I don't know. You know, that's not for me to figure out. You know, I think sometimes we can be, you know, maybe I was admittedly, but maybe self-righteous, you know, in the sense of thinking that what I thought was best is best, but that's not what you ever want for anybody else. Like, you don't want anybody else to be that way with you. That's what I mean. So therefore, you know, I shouldn't give that out to other people. We can't give that out to other people, right? So I came to that realization. I came to the understanding that him and I were one, and we're all one, truly. And so, you know, that's why I had to let him go. You know, drop the case, drop the charges, and just move on. So that's that anyway. I suppose you should know about that before we kind of really get to talking about other things. Mostly because I want you to understand, I don't say things to you guys like flippantly, and that's my whole thing. Like, I feel like honestly everything has really worked out together for my good. Yes, it was painful. It was a painful experience, but like, you know, I remember one of the first sort of encounters I had even in Grant Park. There was a gentleman who was sleeping rough, as they say in Ireland, houseless, you know, living outside in the park. And I don't know, I was there walking with my daughter, and I felt like to ask him, like, hey, do you guys need anything? And he told me, you know, I think he said he wanted some shorts. And, you know, I said to him, I gotta go home, you know, I'll get you some shorts. And then there was another girl there. I think her name was Lacey. Anyway, very pregnant. Very pregnant. She said she was 2 months pregnant. I was like, whoa, very pregnant. She's there with a young person named Dakota. And they were a couple. And I saw that she was clearly pregnant, and I had still some supplies from my pregnancy, so I said, all right, you know, I'm going to walk home, and I'll come back for you guys. So my daughter and I walked back home, and then, you know, I came back by myself, you know, to give them the things that I had for them. And I got into a conversation with Dakota and Lacey, and I understood that there was a lot of sexual trauma, you know, that had happened to her, and that had also happened to Dakota by virtue of witnessing it. And, you know, it was very difficult for them, you know, naturally. And I'm very much sugarcoating and giving you the headlines in a very minimally descriptive way, you know, for the sake of, you know, just, you know, nobody wants to hear these things. You know. We don't like it. We don't want it done to other people, but we know it happens. And so I guess, you know, that's part of the situation, right? You know, that's what makes me grateful. And it sounds weird, and I don't like it either, but it's what makes me grateful for my past experiences, and for the fact that I can understand other people, and maybe I can help you in a way that I needed somebody to help me. And if that helps, like, jeez. That's all that matters anyway. So I hope that you guys enjoy this journey. I hope that it blesses you. I hope you can understand and respect my vulnerability when I explain all these things to you, and also my privacy and safety if you see me out and about. We're gonna keep it quick, keep moving. I feel a lot of things deeply. You might call it empathic or whatever. And if y'all start telling me your sad stories, it's gonna make me cry, and then I'll be crying. It's a whole thing. So if you could bear with me and don't do that, I would really appreciate it. For the same way, I'm gonna respect you and not do the same thing, with you guys. Like I said, I just want you to understand where I'm coming from. I want you to understand that these things I tell you about my life are just so that you can color in to understand the person who's talking to you. And trying to encourage you to love yourself. That's all, like I said, this is about. Just taking care of yourself, alright? Inside your own skin is the strongest that you are. There's nothing outside you that can make you stronger. There's nothing that you can buy, nothing that you can pray. There's actually no God outside of you. The very faith and the very God that you have within the Spirit that's living within you, the same Spirit that was living within Jesus, the same Spirit that raised Jesus from the dead, that's all that's going to do it. It's either going to make it or break it, and by your words you'll be justified, and by your words you'll be condemned. So if you say it, and you say it, and you say it, and you say it, and you say it some more, you'll have it. It's the very best for you will come to you. And if you're like one of those people who goes, well, I'm going to say I want $1 million every day, then I'll get it. And then like, you probably could. You could probably say, I want $1 million every day, and you'll get that desire to want $1 million, and you always have that want. You say, I have $1 million. You might find yourself flooded with ideas, millionaire ideas. And if you act on those ideas, faith without action is dead. If you act on those ideas, then you will find yourself having $1 million. It'll be, I have $1 million. And then you might want to up that because inflation and all that. But I'll stop there anyway. I'm wishing you guys a beautiful day, beautiful evening. It is Friday, January the 12th at 6